Hello again, it's Austin Harris, better known on the YouTubes as Max Vendraken, and I'm doing another Kiryu or MechaGodzilla review. And this is of the little one. I believe it's 6 inches. I didn't really care to measure it, but it's the little one. The one that I use in the videos, I used as the Abomination, and in the first one. In the second one, of course, he played still the Abomination, but he was like the Pet Cemetery version, and now he's playing the Secret Weapon. So he dies a bunch of times, but he just never goes away. But anyway, in my humble opinion, I prefer this MechaGodzilla, this Kiryu, over the big one. But for one reason. It looks 10 times as good as the big one. You would think they'd be able to put more detail into the big one, but no, there's much more detail in this little one. There's many different features that are on this one that you don't see on the big one, and they get so much other stuff right on this one. Like, you know, there's black in the vents, you know, the black everywhere it needs to be. They did make one mistake though, on this arm. There's a like black fiber armpit area over here. They failed to color it black, but I know you can't really see it, but I'm just pointing it out that's really one of the only mistakes they made. It's just so much more detailed. I love it. I love the addition of the drill hand instead of 2 regular hands, especially for kids who just want to play with it. You know, they can attack stuff and stuff like that. So obviously now you know. Of course, the arms move. The tail moves just like the big one. You know, you can turn it around. I'm gonna say again, you know, there's in all Bandai figures. I'm gonna say all Bandai figures. In a lot of the places you can move it. All except for like the arms and all the Bandai figures, maybe heads. There's really no area that you can move it besides the way it's supposed to be and still make it look good. But this one you can, instead of on the big one you move the whole neck and head. In this one you just move the top of the head around. Yeah. Anyway, and again, you don't get to move the feet. And again, I pointed out in the big one that the leg is 2 separate pieces. There's the top part of the leg and the bottom part of the leg, and it's hard to see, but there's definitely a separation of pieces above this thick calf area and below the knee. So you'd think that they would add some sort of, you know, maneuvering mechanism there where you could move the bottom of the foot back and forth just to add a little bit more posability, but no. And unlike the big one, there's no separation. Well, there is a piece separation in the middle, just like the legs, where it looks like you could move the body back and forth and spin around, but you can't. So thumbs down on that. I know I didn't rate the big one out of 10. I'd rate it a 7, and I'm pretty generous. This I'd rate it probably a 7.58. I'm very generous. Probably 7.75. So actually I'll rate the big one a 6 then. So I'll be a little less generous. But I prefer this. 7.75 out of 10 as far as I'm concerned. It does have the jets on the back. The jets on the back have black tips like they're supposed to, unlike the big one who has just silver tips. They didn't even bother to care to paint those. I like the silver on the little one better. I mean, it's hard to tell on this camera, but it is actually a little bit, it's darker, but yet it's shinier. I mean, it can be that. And it looks closer to the steel look that the movie had. I wish there was more color detail in the turbine, in the drill arm, but oh well. Again, the tail kills me on both figures, because in the movie, in between each section, there's the wire parts in between each section. Those are always supposed to be black, just like the black parts on the body, because they're black wires that separate the sections, or run through the whole tail, so it can maneuver the tail. And they failed to do that on both figures. The paint, it does a little better on this at not bleeding. Actually, it does much better, but there are still a few parts. I'm not even going to bother showing you because my camera sucks and you won't be able to see it. But there are still a few parts that bleeds a little bit. But like I said before, when I did the bigger review, it's factory made, so that's going to happen. You don't really notice it as much on the Godzilla figures, because it's basically one color throughout the whole thing. Something like this, it's only got a couple colors, but multiple sections and stuff like that, and it gets more intricate in what has to be done to make it look good. So I understand it happening a little bit, but I don't know how good you could tell on the big figure, but it was just fucking ridiculous. So yeah, that's my review of the small Kiryu figure. I give it a 7.75, and the big Kiryu, which I reviewed in the other video, was I gave it a 6. I'm keeping it at 6. This is 7.75. So, thanks for watching. I'm going to do more reviews later.